Hello friends, and welcome to the guide to defeating the Goblin Cave Boss. Conquering the Goblin Cave Boss is one of Dark and Darker's greatest challenges, but should one accomplish such a feat, riches are certainly guaranteed. And once you have mastered the technique, repetition is rather straightforward. Vanquishing this vile, hunking behemoth may be accomplished by any class. In this video, I will show you the Cleric. Perhaps one of the worst classes to defeat the beast, but nonetheless possible. Firstly, one must appreciate the journey it takes to learn how to dance with the troll. All in all, it was an endeavor that put me through my paces for a good 10 hours before the first one fell to my feet. What you may notice from various videos or from fellow troll slayers are the variety of strategies. Ultimately, it is down to your preference. For God's sakes, Nigel, stop with the blasted music. The people on YouTube are trying to focus on the guide. Now let's break down the various attacks and how they can be countered. The troll has namely 3 patterns: the shout, close combat, and the two-handed slam. Let's go through these in turn. The shout. The fiend faces you, bellowing a thunderous roar from its orifice. After a short time it charges you, swinging its clambering mace from the underhand. One such option to avoid becoming a home run is to jump to the left, over the mace as it travels in the opposite direction. Alternatively, as demonstrated through my battles, is to keep a medium distance. As the mouth closes, turn 180 degrees and start running. For good measure, when the vermin begins to sound its charge, jump. Close combat. There are 2 main attacks the ogre assumes in its efforts to quash the hero: a stroke from its left to right, and an overhead slam. They may both be evaded by simply walking backwards and to the right. Notice that many times after I lay a final attack, I hold the back step key for a short moment before adding in movement to the right when a new attack is incoming. Moving backwards for a short moment before diagonal movement is critical. Often I will turn the character away from the brute in diagonal movement to quicken my steps. What may complicate close combat, and in many cases lead to a premature demise, is the tendency for the troll to throw in additional attacks in quick succession. These combos may randomly appear after the stroke from its left to right, and in any number of times. Do not fret. The answer here is to crouch, look down and wait for the attacks to finish before popping back up and resuming combat. It is possible with the mace and its overhead swings to continue attacking the boss while looking down. And how do we know when a sequence of combo attacks will begin? The pest will give off a drunken swagger, akin to movements seen when a goblin consumes more than a fair share of ale. One may not have to look far as around their locality past midnight for similar examples. The two-handed slam. From my observations, the bipedal monstrosity will do about 4 full attacks in close combat, combos included, before grabbing his mace with both hands and slamming it in a large AoE around him. It is a very obvious attack, and there is plenty of time to turn around as it is doing it and gain ground. Now that you know how to deal with his attacks, let us have a quick mention about the opportune moments to deal our own damage. Where I sense I have time to do so, I will throw in 2 swings of the mace. Ideally, one to the head and the other to his left hand. If timing is of the essence, only one attack will do. There may be room for improvisation, such as during the shout, you may have room to throw in an offensive spell or a heal for yourself. This video does not cover getting to the freak of nature from the many different spawn points, nor escaping the Goblin Cave. What we shall now do is a full run with bits of additive commentary. Nigel, I request that you play our fine viewers a soothing but refreshing mix of classical. Keep it low, thank you very much. When I was a young boy, one of my favourite pastimes was giving dear Mama a heart attack when I told her I had run through the Goblin Caves. She was a sweet woman. Up ahead, you may catch a glimpse of Roger, our neighbour down the road. He came looking after me one day when I ventured into the caves. I believe they call him a skeleton champion now. I am using a mere junk mace. I prefer to combat in the nude, as clothes are a burden on my freedom of movement. Notice how many attacks before the two-handed slam. Let me count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and slam. See how I try to fit in a mace hit to the head, then to his left hand. Do that if you can, but don't get too greedy. One hit will sometimes be all that you may suffice. Nigel, please put on that piece you play when I'm baking a souffle. How very inspirational. Notice when he does those combo attacks. It gives off the impression they are not finished. That drunken swagger as he goes in for another hit. That's when I duck. Perhaps something a bit more upbeat for the youth of today, huh, Nigel? Champion. And that is how it is done, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy my escape while I tell you stories of the cave before the video finishes. Please, let me remind of etiquette. Should another adventurer cross your path and crouch repeatedly, they are signaling they are friendly. They may want to share the spoils with you. Let them. When the chance arises, should their back be turned, a well-placed bonk on the head will give you your treasure back. The stench of this room. It is told that the goblins and trolls have an expansive diet. Although carnivorous of sorts, most portions they manage to find are those of rotting mice or insects. Luxury has it that they come to fresh meat when a hapless wanderer underestimates their danger. Thank you for staying tuned in this far. I'd like to thank you for your fine viewership, and to Nigel for providing us soothing rhythms nested for our ears.